So good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I am in my car headed to work, which seems to be always my heading of my videos because I'm always in my car headed to work. But yeah, so I wanted to just talk to you all for just a few minutes. I'm kind of contemplating how I want to do this video. I think I'm going to do a portion of it now, and then because I am driving, and then when I am maybe in a parking lot somewhere or something where I can actually just kind of like show you all, then I'll show you a little bit more. Like, it's going to be kind of a weird video, I guess, is basically what I'm trying to say. I ordered the All About You set from QVC from It Cosmetics, and I got it in the mail last Friday, which UPS delivered it last Friday. It sold for $59.99, I believe it was, all day on, I don't remember whatever day it was, like a Monday or something. And it came with easy pay payments and, you know, the whole 9 yards, what they typically do. So, you know how they have the little color chart, and they, QVC is famous for doing their online, their live demonstrations, and it always starts with, generally, well, like It Cosmetics always starts with, I can't think of her name, but, the lady who designed it, who created it, and, came up with the formulas, and, all that good stuff, and she shows her face, and it's wonderful. And, so let me back up a minute. Let me say first and foremost, I happen to think that It Cosmetics is a very good line. Their skin, the skincare ingredients that they have inside of their makeup is awesome. I love their brushes, but let's face it, they don't cater to women of color very well. You have various of the lighter shades, and then you have like one darker shade. So, but I'm one of these people, like for example, that kit, the foundation, even if it didn't work, it's like, it's still worth it, because the brushes in that kit is actually a brush that I had gotten in another kit that I freaking love. And the foundation part of the brush had just started to kind of like come apart. I used it a lot. I washed it a lot. I think it should have held up longer than it did, but so be it. So it didn't, you know what I mean? So it's now feathering out. It soon will be, all the bristles will come out of that top brush, or the foundation part of the brush. So I had, I've been kind of thinking, I love the foundation part of it, but even more so, I love the concealer part of it. I use that every freaking day to put my concealer on. I pat it in with my fingers, and then I kind of go in and I sculpture. Like I tend to run my concealer up through here, and all in this area here. So I love that brush. And I was thinking, gosh, do I want to invest in buying that brush again? And and in fact, I wasn't even sure if it was sold separately. So I was going to start kind of like doing some footwork to kind of see if I could get a hold of that brush again. Well, when they came out with this kit, my first thought was, well, heck, it's a no-brainer. Get the brush, and we'll get the kit, and I'll have the brush and all this other bunch of crap that I can enjoy. And when I say crap, I mean that lightly. I don't mean it like bad. So it was a no-brainer for me. I really had wanted to try a couple of things other things. Like I have the Bye Bye Under Eye. Is that what it's called? I don't remember. That does, for some reason, doesn't sound right. But anyway, the concealer. And I had gotten the concealer when I got the CC cream, and I got the CC cream in the deep. That was the original CC cream that she came out with, like way back when. So, and mind you, that deep is very brown. It's which I know that I have a skin tone that's very unique, so I don't hold it personal when some cosmetics don't have my shade. I tend to need caramels, ambers, goldens, to really match my undertone. But I was like, hey, skincare formula in it, I'm gonna play around with it, and I've used it, quite a bit of it. In the summer months, I use it a little bit more because I'm darker, and I can kind of get away with it. So wasn't hating it because of that. So then when I got this kit in, well, first of all, I looked at the little demonstrations on QVC. you know, doing the fair to the medium to the deep. What is it? The fair, the medium, the, I don't know, tan, I think, whatever it is. So I'm waiting to see the woman of color person. So I see them do the demonstration with the woman of color person, and she's at least one shade, if not a couple of shades darker than myself. Great. I'm thinking, okay, a couple of things can happen. Either this is going to be way too dark for me, because I'm thinking in reference to, because they have that darker, their darker shade is called Rich, and if when you look at her line, her foundation, or her CC cream, which I'm not, to be perfectly honest with you, I haven't looked at her shades of her foundations before, but the CC cream, you know, the deepest, the darkest. And so I'm thinking, well, Rich could, you know, if they're putting it on her, then I'm sure that I can make this work. So I get the kit in. I'm super stoked. I'm like, you know, and I really didn't even open it up all weekend, because I knew I wanted to, I was actually going to try to do a video on Sunday and do the whole demo and everything, but I really needed to work on my room, and so I just didn't want to focus on it. And Sunday I didn't even put on any makeup at all, so hence I couldn't do the video. But this morning I was like, okay, I've had this, you know, excuse me, several days now, and I really need to try it. So I thought, you know, this could be a total disaster, because I've already looked at the powder foundation, and I'm thinking, this is very light. But I'm like, hey, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to, you know, we're going to play with it. Well, so I put it on this morning. I put on, I got a little sample of her primer, anti-aging primer, and I can't believe I didn't put that on this morning. I totally forgot that I had the little sample in the packet, because I got a sample of the It Cosmetics anti-aging, and I got a little sample of their CC cream. And okay, on that note, I'm going to say something, and I think it's comical, and maybe it's just me, but I often wonder, you know, when you order products, and I know that, you know, they have like a bin of samples, and they just reach their hands in there and they toss it in your little bag or whatever, your box, whatever. But I'm just curious as to why, when, say, so you ordered like the darkest shade that they have, right? And then they give you a sample of like the palest shade of something. And it's kind of like, okay, if this person's buying something that is, you know, espresso, why would you give them beige samples? But on the flip side of that, why is it that most cosmetic companies, and I say most, why is it that they don't make samples in the darker shades? I'm just curious. Has anyone ever thought about that? Or, you know, is it just me? And, you know, and like, again, like, you know, I mean, we come in so many different shades that, I mean, I know that even then still you may not can, but I mean, I feel that you may not can make every shade, but why not? Like, if you make samples, why wouldn't you make your samples in all your shades, so that when you're handing them out to people, you can hand them out a realistic approach? I just think that would be so much more productive, cost-wise, because for starters, if I get a sample of something and it's, you know, beige, what are the chances that I'm ever even going to use that sample? So am I going to know about your product? Probably not. Okay, there's something flying around in my car. I probably will pass it on, and that's generally what I do. I mean, I make good use out of all the things that I get. Like, I have coworkers and, you know, friends, and, you know, so I make use of everything. I just think it's comical, and I just really wish that that would be something that cosmetic lines would really stop and think about. And I know some of them don't even cater to women of color, period, so I can get why you wouldn't have different shades. But the ones that do, still generally every sample that you get in Sephora, and all of their little, you know, their 100-point samples, not ever do you see a shade for a 100-point sample. Is it going to be a shade to match women of color? And I don't get that. So anyway, that little rant. Okay, so moving on. I'm sorry. It just, when I started talking about the sample that I had, because I remember seeing it, and I can promise you it's either like a beige or like, I want to say like beige, or I know it's really light, of the CC cream. And I'm thinking it's probably the new CC cream, because I just tossed that sample over to the side and thought, okay, I'll pass that on to somebody. But yeah, so I'm sorry. I just had to go on that rant, because I seriously, comment below, because I need to know if I'm the only one that experienced this or feel that way, whatever. So anyhow, so you know, I'm looking at this box, and I'm looking at this foundation, and I'm going, ooh, this is some light foundation for rich. So I got up this morning and I put it on my face. I actually put on the Kat Von D sample of her primer that I got, and I wanted to see how, you know, how it was going to pan out today. So I put it on, again, not thinking about the fact that I had the anti-aging sample of the primer from It Cosmetics. So I just put the powder on. I was like, I'm just gonna put this powder on and see what happens. Okay, I look like a ghostly mess. So again, I'm saying I'm about 2 shades lighter than the person that they did the demo on. So then I say to myself, was that demo real? Like, did they, you know, did they do other things to her and not give us the honest, you know, this is what we don't have a color to match this person, therefore we will have to do this, this, and this. So I'm gonna have to say it was a dishonest demonstration, because if it was too light for me, there is no way they could have just put, now they did show, you know, and I do have the under eye concealer, and I have it, it comes to the one that comes with that is deep. So you have to ask yourself again, like, do those two combinations match together? And when I'm not driving, I'm going to show you like what they look like, and they should never be put together, because they don't go together. Supposedly they give you the concealer to kind of correspond with the foundation, not. So and they do mention that, you know, because she had little, I think, like acne spots or something, so they mentioned that they concealed her acne spots. What they actually should have said is they used the deep as her foundation, and they did touch-ups with the powder over top, because that's the only way. And I'm very serious when I say that that is the only way that model could have worn that powder. And even then, I still think, and I know, like in the demonstration, I do remember thinking that makeup is really a little bit ghostly. So they probably did put the powder on her, you know, all jokes aside, they probably did, but it was not a good match. So all of that being said, I still love It Cosmetics. I'm not bashing the line itself. I mean, you know, everything that I tried, other than, you know, like I said, the matching of the foundations, freaking love. Like the brushes, you know, you know, I have a blush that I just love, and you know, so the things that I've tried, I love. And I think that for us women of color, that's kind of like the route we have to go. We have to utilize the anti-aging formulas that she has in her skincare and her makeup line, and not focus on her foundations. Now, hopefully she'll be smart and say, you know what, I need to reach out to my women of color also. I need to come up with some shades that's going to match women of color. I would love for her to do that, because like I said, it's a great line. The thought concept behind it is awesome. And so all of that being said, on my face this morning, I ended up, like I said, I put the powder on. I was like, okay, this is definitely not going to work. Now I bit the bullet today, and I did not put on anything else other than It Cosmetics. As far as, of course, you know what, I should have put on eyeshadow that was It Cosmetics. I have palettes. Hello, I didn't think about that. My bad. But all of my what I ended up doing is I put the foundation on, like I said, ghostly white appearance. So then I went in with the concealer, and I used the concealer as a foundation, which the concealer itself for me is a tad bit brown. That deep is, I mean, it blends into my skin okay, because it kind of blends to it almost to like not being there, and gives you kind of a glow, but technically it's a little dark. So then I went over it with the powder foundation again, and then I used the bronzer, which again, it's not really, I mean, you know, lighter skin tones probably could go for it, you know, because I mean, there are some women of color that are lighter than me, obviously, but the bronzer is you know, I mean, it was close to my skin tone, I guess, more so than anything. So I did some sculpturing, some molding, some fancy handwork to get this face to look the way it looks right now. I even have on the blush that comes from the kit. I didn't put on the setting, what is it, the setting powder, because like I said, I felt like I kind of had a lot going on, and I did, with the exception, I'm sorry, I did put on my my ambient powder trio, which I did it without thinking. I meant to do the other, and I did it. I was going to use the highlighter to just kind of blot through my face, and I just grabbed it without thinking. So I apologize. It's not all It Cosmetics, with the exception of my eyeshadow, and of course, like I said, I did use the ambient powder. So but I mean I made it work. I don't know, I mean, like, you can see that there's some difference there, like really some difference, but I mean, it's not dramatically a big difference to the point where you have to go, God, girl, you look terrible. I mean, I had to work to get this to come out the way that it did. So my question is, what did you all do to the model to make her look, I mean, and it wasn't a good match, but it was a better match. I mean, it was an okay match. So I'm just curious, and I want to know, do other people feel the same way? I just want honesty there. Like, I just think for all of us, that's the best way to go, because then I have faith, I have confidence in your product. And I mean, because gosh, the brushes I just freaking love. The eyeshadows that I have, I freaking love. So I'm not doubting the line at all as far as what they have to offer in the skincare ingredients, the staying power of like their eyeshadows and how smooth they go on and all that great stuff. Love it. But I am concerned with when you show models that are like a few shades darker than me, and then I get a color that I can promise you some of my Caucasian friends can totally wear. So especially living here in Texas. So, you know, I don't know, but again, I'm not bashing the product. I love it. So please don't anyone misunderstand me. This video might get a little bit lengthy because I've already been going on for 17 minutes because I had to have my little rant in there. So, but I have everything in my little bag over here, and at some point or another today, hopefully I can get on. If not, I may just do another whole video where I'm doing a demo where I'm putting it on, and then we'll talk about and show the shades and talk about it. So do I think this kit's worth it? Absolutely. Because if you can't wear, you know, if you can't, well, I say it's absolutely, if the other items in this kit are things that you're going to utilize. The brush is awesome. It's freaking phenomenal. So, I mean, that has no color range. The quad, I'm thinking every skin tone can utilize that quad to some extent. So, and the Bye Bye Under Eye, it's a good, I mean, it's pretty dark. So, well, if you get the darkest shade. So, I mean, you know, you can make it work if it's, yeah, you can make it work probably for a lot of different things under your eyes, you know, concealing age spots, whatever. So, I mean, if you can use 2 of these products in this kit, then it's worth it. If you can't, then it's not worth it. So for me, I didn't waste my money. I'm glad I got the kit. I think in the winter months, I probably will utilize the foundation probably a lot more. I'm gonna play with it. I'm gonna see what other foundations I can kind of, you know, use with it or whatever. I mean, I'm gonna get my money's worth out of it, that's for sure. So I am going to go ahead and close for now because I just pulled into my work. And yeah, so I don't know, like I said, I'm not sure if I'm gonna come back on and add to this video or if I'm just gonna do another whole separate video. So we'll see how that all turns out. And until then, you guys have a fantastic Monday, and we'll see what comes up next. Okay, so I'm actually back. The time is now like 12 noon, and I am going to say that this foundation did oxidize quite a bit. So it did kind of like go into like a color that really looks a whole lot better than it did this morning. Doesn't look quite as ghostly. But there again, I still feel that there's some issues there with what the true color of the foundation is as far as who can actually wear the foundation. So like I said, I can make this work for me. I'm just more concerned about the people that, you know, hey, look at that demonstration, they order it, you know, and then of course, yeah, QVC will take it back, there's no problem. But when you're being deceived and you're thinking you're getting one color, like you're getting something that's somewhat close to the color of your skin, based on, you know, the models that they show and things like that, that's just really, it concerns me. So but yeah, so I can make this work for me. I think especially after it oxidized, it looks great, like with all the little things that I did. But again, okay, are you willing to do all those little steps? Like, you know, I did have to use the concealer as my foundation, quote unquote, and I did use bronzer on my face. So I've got a lot of things going on my face. So and I didn't spray it with Fix Plus today, so I'm kind of, well, it doesn't look really cakey, I don't know. I forgot to do the Fix Plus because I was doing so many different steps to my face today to get the foundation to work. But again, like I said, the mere fact that I could get the brush, that quad, I love it. The blush looks great still on my face. I think I'm gonna love all the other, I like the highlighter, I have that already. So, you know, I myself personally, it's definitely worth the $59. Like I said, it's just one of those things where you have to at least want 2 items in that little set in order to make it really worth your while. If you are a woman of color and your skin tone is darker, because you're probably not going to be able to make the foundation work. So anywho, or unless you can go in with a friend and, you know, they get the foundation for like 10 bucks or something, I don't know. But yeah, so anyway, that's pretty much my thoughts as of at this point. Like I said, it's noon, so I've had it on for about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've had it on for 6 hours. So yeah, so I mean, you know, like I said, it looks pretty good, holding up perfectly. I do have the Kat Von D mattifier underneath, or the Kat Von D matte base primer, so they work good together. So anyhow, I will come back on throughout the day, like I said, and at some point or another, this might end up being a long video because I do want to show you all the products that came in the packaging, and just, you know, like again, talk about them all a little bit more and show you the actual color of the foundation. Like, and of course, again, you'll be looking at it on camera, so, you know, it may not come across as the right color, but you can pretty much judge my skin tone and know where I'm going with it all. So anyhow, so I'm gonna tone out for just a few. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I am back. I'm sitting in my driveway. It is now 6:09, and probably going to be my final update of the foundation, because what I've decided to do is I am going to do a part 2 to this foundation video, or the conversation of the whole It Cosmetics kit and what I think about it, because I kind of decided that I do want to do a full day of everything that It Cosmetics, once I realized that I had used my ambient powder without thinking, like I just did, and then I didn't put on any It Cosmetics shadows. So tomorrow I'm going to do a part 2 to this video, and everything is going to be It Cosmetics. That way like I said, I have the anti-aging, a sample of the primer, so I'm going to use that sample. I'm going to use the whole kit, and I'm going to, you know, just kind of, you know, tell you what's going on, how I feel about it that way. So I am still gonna say I thumbs up the product. I thumbs up the kit. I think it's great. Other products in the kit seem to be awesome that I've used so far, and the only negative thing I have to say is that I'm very concerned about the model that did the demonstration. I don't think it's any way possible that she just wore the powder and just touched up in little spots of the using the under eye concealer. I just think she had to use the under eye concealer as a foundation in order to achieve a look that didn't leave her a ghostly mess. Even though I do feel that she did have somewhat of a white cast to her face with everything being done, but I still don't think she could have even achieved that look without having more than just dabbing the concealer in certain spots. I think she had to wear it as a foundation. Whether or not she did, I don't know. Again, that's just my own personal opinion. I still think the kit was definitely worth the $59.95. Would not take anything away from it, cosmetics at all. I just wish they could cater to the women of color just a little bit more. That would just totally please me to no extent, because I do love the products. I love everything, the eyeshadows, everything that I've tried. I have nothing but high recommendations for. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get off right now, head into the house, and upload this video and put it all together, edit it, upload it, and prepare myself to see how I'm going to do the video tomorrow. How's that? So I hope this video was helpful for you. Tell me what you think. Give me your opinion on some of the things that I talked about today, because I know I kind of went into some serious rants, and this could be seen as a negative video, but it really was not meant to be a negative video. It was really meant to be a positive video. It really was meant as in question, as in if anyone else has thought about the other makeup, the products, the companies that make these products, do they stop and think of how important it is to cater to all skin types? And that doesn't necessarily mean just women of color either. I mean, you could be a Caucasian that's really dark, and if every sample they give you is beige, then how is that helping? How is that making a difference? It's not, because you're gonna toss it aside somewhere and never look at it again. So I just really think that's something that should be given great consideration to. So thumbs up this video if you want to see them to continue to come, or if you even liked it, if you tell me what you think. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the description bar, not the description bar, in the comment section. And excuse me, I will see you all in the very next video. Bye.